Yukon and Northwest Territories. Somehow these massive Canadian territories are not spoken of nearly as often as their neighboring US state of Alaska. Yet, they have so much to offer adventure seekers, wanderers, and overlanders. From the remote army truck graveyards on the Canol Road in southern Yukon to the Kluane National Park, Ogilvie and Richardson mountain ranges, Yukon and Northwest Territories is a wild and massive stretch of land with infinite stories to be uncovered. Over the period of roughly 2 months, we traveled throughout this vast and untamed land, collecting as many stories and memories as we could. After all that travel, we know one thing for certain: it wasn't enough. Come along with us as we weave our way through Canada's northern frontier, all the way from Whitehorse to Tuktoyaktuk, just so we can take a dip in the Arctic Ocean before starting our way all the way down to Argentina. This spectacular place is larger than life. Today, we're riding with our friends Mars and Mika through the Yukon Wild to the base of a mountain we spotted from their property. Just for fun, we'll hike to the top so that we can see what's there. I first met our friends when they came to purchase an expedition truck that I was selling. We were instantly friends, and a couple years later, Meg and I caught up with them in Las Vegas to do a little bit of climbing at Red Rocks. They've since purchased land here in Yukon and live here full time. As we begin our hike, we chat about hunting, fishing, foraging, and what it's like to live in Yukon. As is commonly the case, we're intrigued by how people live in the places we visit, just in case it happens to be the flavor of living that we too are interested in. After a short section of easy grade climbing, the mountain seemingly begins to go straight up. There are little to no switchbacks on this trail, so we're very quickly huffing and puffing, but gaining elevation quickly. Luckily, with the rapid increase in elevation, we soon reached the false summit. Not so luckily though, this mountain has something like 6 false summits. There's a music track that I have been saving for a long time. I had hoped to use it for a trip to Scotland one day, but I think what you're about to witness is fitting enough. To all my fellow Scottish folk, cue the goosebumps.
Careful! Yeah, we didn't bring band-aids again. Good.
Yeah. Whoopsies! Still got blood on my drone after last time I got cut. I forgot my skills.
As I mentioned, there are a number of false summits on this hike. It doesn't matter how many you counted at the bottom, there always seemed to be one more.
It's pretty good, it's hot.
Cool. Ah! Meg.
Oh.
Nice. Ah!
Cool.
Then, finally, after 4 hours of climbing, we reached the top.
Annoying we can't see these alpine lakes.
No, I think they're down.
Oh, woohoo!
Oh my god. And look at the swallowtail. Other side. Warm beer.
So a big thanks to Mika for carrying this very heavy beer all the way up to 2,040 meters.
Ooh, the dregs.
Got all of your guys' spit in there.
Yeah, exactly. The bottom of
I
the
didn't spit in
warm
there.
beer.
You guys spit in there?
But I finish it. I spit in all the beers I drink.
It was good. I mean, my body needs calories.
I don't know what the future holds for us, where we will wind up, or when it will happen. But what I do know for certain is that places like this call to both of us. They constantly tug at our hearts and minds, filling us with wonder, excitement, and an ever-present desire to explore further. We both can hear these mountains and valleys quietly speaking to us, whispering to us the stories that we haven't yet lived to tell. I truly believe that we are being slowly reeled into a life lived in the North. Not a life of luxury or convenience, but of hardships and challenges. A life that at the end of it, we can look back and be proud of what we've done. I think in the years to come, we will become well acquainted with our true selves as our mettle is tested and our patience, resolve, and strength is called upon. And out here, I wonder, is where the final pieces of that puzzle will be put into place.
That was hard.
So much of our lives to this point would seem like a collection of random events, like a children's game of marbles, glass spheres glancing off of each other, spinning in unpredictable directions. But I don't think that's the case. It's all led to here, to now, to us and the path we now walk together. Nothing was random, nothing was a mistake. I'm certain of that.
So we're on our way to Skagway, and there's this hike called Windy Arm, which is an old abandoned mine shaft up the side of the mountain over there. And seeing as yesterday we climbed 1,200 meters over, what, 10 kilometers?
Yeah.
We know that the pain's coming. We're not sore right now, but we're probably going to be sore tomorrow, so might as well just, like, you know, sneak in another little hike, and maybe it'll go under the radar, I don't know, but up we go. Preemptive measures. This hike is fully exposed the whole time.
Refreshing?
Refreshing. Overland hat. Let's go.
People often ask us if we're the same in real life as we are on camera. And the answer to that is yes, but also no. Of course, we show you the highlights of our life, but I assure you, we have our lows.
Some raspberries.
We got some ripe raspberries.
Nice.
Want some?
Yeah, let's see. Nice.
Delicious.
So we still have to go all the way up there, but there's this. It's kind of cool. Oh. Oh, it's cold in there. So that must be some kind of super duper deep mine shaft there. It goes way down because it's so cold in here. They had power up here. I wonder if this is actually it's a heating unit. Yeah, because there's like a big fan here. And then you can see right there, there's coils. And there's a gas line right here. So I bet this is to actually heat the mine shaft way down there. Crazy. I haven't really done much of this kind of exploring before, but definitely I think we should probably do more. What do you think, Meg?
Whoa, what is it?
I think it's a big heater.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Ooh.
heating room.
What's up with the cold breeze up here?
That is coming from the mine shaft way down below. It's cold air coming up from the ground. And you can see way down there is the rest of the facility. I would love it if someone watching this video could tell us exactly what that facility is for. Since we've uncracked the code of what the heck this is for, maybe someone else can educate us. Whoa. Never like being in these mine shafts. I'm always certain there's gonna be something that comes out of the dark to try and kill me. Pam, I think you know what that looks like, right? That would be Meg's mom, who likes horror movies. Pam, do you see anything down there? Ugh.
On this day, as we hiked, we had a whopper of a fight. Stuff had been building up under the surface, and much like many of our other hikes, the steam released as we climbed. We are 2 people, living in a small van, on a big journey. We are dedicated to each other and our cause. Taking a direct approach to problem solving and differences of opinion is the only tool we have if we want to continue to do what we do. That's something I wanted to share with you in case for some reason you believe that we're one of those so-called perfect internet couples. After a short exploration of the mine shaft, weather began to roll in quick, and we were forced down the mountain, rain nipping at our heels. After a short drive further west, we arrived at this lake to spend the night.
So right now, there's a thunderstorm going off, and it's probably the loudest thunder that either of us have ever heard. It's insane. I'm hoping to catch one of the thunderclaps, but it's so loud.
You can like feel it in your stomach or your throat. It's vibrating my internal organs.
Oh, it's coming, it's coming.
That was like quieter than the last two.
Yeah, way quiet.
That night, with the thunder gone, the gentle sound of rain on the roof lulled us to sleep. What hadn't quite sunk in while driving the day previous was that we had yet again crossed the border into British Columbia from Yukon. This time though, we had entered into the eastern extent of the northwest arm of the province. A vast expanse of wild comprised mostly of the Tatshenshini-Alsek Provincial Park, a part of British Columbia virtually uninhabited, a place we refer to as no man's land.
I cannot get over how beautiful this place is. It is absolutely just blowing my mind. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful out here.
The Alaska border is only a few more kilometers ahead, but before we cross, there's one last place we have to go see.
Well, I know that yesterday I said that we were just gonna sneak one little hike in before maybe a recovery day or something like that. But we're here at International Falls and we're gonna go hike to some waterfalls and then have a rest day tomorrow, right?
No rest days.
No rest for the wicked.
Damn. Riverwalk. Oh, that's the point.
Next portion of our adventure. Take the boots off. All right, here I go. First dip. Whew. Oh.
International Falls, aptly named due to the fact that it exists almost directly on the border and between the US and Canadian custom booths, is a long series of cascading waterfalls stemming from a snow-fed mountain lake located in a saddle between two large series of peaks. The views as you hike up to the saddle are absolutely astounding, and the hike itself is a relatively easy 8 kilometers and 400 meters elevation gain, making for a manageable grade with big payoffs. We both have our individual stories, and in both of them, the mountains have played a crucial part. For long stretches in our lives, we have been, for one reason or another, denied entry or kept away from the high places, the wild places, and the big open places. Everyone has their reason for coming to the mountains. For us, it's to feel undeniably and unequivocally alive.
What do you think of the water, love?
That was really refreshing and very adventurous. I really enjoyed it.
I'm astonished that you stayed in as long as you did.
Cold plunge.
Yep.
Do it for the cold plunge.
Well, that's pretty much it. We're on our way down, and I think we're going to be going into Alaska tonight. So, yeah, we'll see you down at the van.
If you ever have the chance to do the drive from Whitehorse to Skagway, take it. Do not hesitate. Take the chance. You will not be disappointed.
What is this?
Patagonia, eat your heart out.
What is this? What the what is this? Oh my word. What is it?
Amazing.
Memory is a funny thing. I often wonder in the moment about what part of the moment I'm experiencing right then and there will actually be held in my brain for reference later on down the road. It seems to be totally randomized. I've reflected quite often on how memories fade as I get older. Details become blurry and misplaced, but what seems to remain is the feeling of a memory. I think they call this nostalgia. But then, nostalgia is just blurred detail in a different form. Nostalgia is more than often positive, looking through rose-colored glasses, as they say, negating the challenges and struggles attached to any given memory. I wonder what I will remember of the last few days. I wonder if it will be all rose-colored. You see, the last few days have been a bit of a struggle. Ever since leaving Smithers, we've had continual house battery charging issues. As we've moved closer to the coast of Alaska, and weather along with cloud cover has cut into our solar charging, it's been challenging keeping our devices, the ones we depend on for work, fully charged. When we woke up on a gravel bar in Skagway, Alaska, we were met with torrential downpour and flood warnings. It rained the entire time we were there, right up until we were preparing to leave on the ferry.
You like that?
Yeah. Cold cat spring.
That looks better. Greens from the garden. Greens. Fresh. All right. A sandwich fit for a king.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Are you still following me?
Yep.
Bye.
Go.
Arriving in Haines, we decided to press on back into British Columbia to hopefully find some more sun. When we arrived here, somewhere in the no man's land of British Columbia's northwest arm, we were completely socked in, exhausted from driving and in need of some downtime.
Alright, so for lunch, we're gonna have super fast salmon rice bowls with just canned salmon, rice, and some delicious toppings. We've got fresh greens from Mika's garden, green onions, radish, sauerkraut, and the sauce lineup. Rice vinegar, Kewpie mayo, soy sauce, and honey. It's gonna be good.
Oh, I'm excited to eat this. Oh my goodness, that looks beautiful.
Okay, so this is my next order of business. We've got the fermentation station, and we're finally starting to sprout some seeds because who knows where we'll find the good veggies next.
To our relief, we saw enough sunlight throughout the day to keep our battery at least partially charged, allowing us some time to enjoy ourselves. A few months ago, we spent some days with our Canadian friends, Josh and Vanessa. Josh is a barber and gave Meg some tips on how to cut my hair. Since my last cut from Josh, I haven't had a haircut and have grown a bit of a mop on my head, and Meg was eager to try out her new skills. Maybe this moment will be etched into our memories. Perhaps the memory of the challenges we were facing at the time won't stick, and all we'll remember is laughing as the wind blew my brown locks all over Meg's shirt, and we stared up the mountains and watched the clouds go by.
I'm standing in the wrong place.
We didn't do a before shot, but here's after.
How do I look? Pretty sharp?
Second, is that my second haircut?
Yeah.
I
Looks
don't
pretty good, I think.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
What do you reckon, Josh? Thanks for the lesson.
I look less like a Sasquatch now. More like a monkey.
I often get caught up in thought about repetition in nature, whether it be shape, sound, smell, etc. Nothing in nature has ever been or ever will be the same in any two instances of one thing at any one time. Looking out upon this view, it's hard to imagine the change that this place has seen over the century, millennia, or eon. Considering the shapes of the mountains, the infinite shapes of the glacier, and individual pieces of ice all the way down to the individual grains of sand or water droplets that fall in this place, even the shapes in the clouds passing over, none of it has been the same in any two instances. As the mountains down to their component atoms have never been the same, so has the passage of sun and rays of light on this place ever repeated themselves perfectly during the billions of rotations the Earth has made. It is all ever changing and infinitely different from itself. The minutiae of it all fascinates me just as the grandiosity does. As we humans walk through these places, we introduce more variation and add to the infinitesimal nature. If the Earth is change and we are introducing change simply by breathing, does it not mean that we are intricately and subtly bound to nature at its most fundamental level? With more weather on its way, we decided we'd try our luck further inland. We only had a couple days to wait before we could receive the package my parents had sent, in hopes it would solve our charging issues. I don't do well when there are things that need to be fixed and I can't fix them. If you listen closely, you can hear a subtle squeak from the van. This is another problem that we have been chasing since we left on our northward journey. While in Whitehorse, I once again pulled apart the back of the transmission in hopes of finding what was making the sound. I found nothing, so I cleaned everything and reassembled. Although the noise disappeared for a few days, it ultimately came back. A short time after this, I finally crawled back under the van to do a test. My test revealed that all the noise is a squeaking seal. I don't know why it's squeaking or whether a new seal will fix it, but for now, it's something I'll have to put up with. At least I know what it is. The road into the spot we've just left is a fun little road. Yet again, the Overlander review suggested 4x4 only, a phrase that qualifies as a challenge for us nowadays. After a short drive further east, we settled on a spot we found on the GPS satellite image and wandered down a dirt track to this riverside spot.
So we didn't shoot any of Meg actually making this, but we're doing a new take on burgers. And this is burgers in a bowl.
Yeah.
Tell us, Meg.
We got some romaine lettuce, red onion, and pickles for me, and then sweet potato shoestring fries, ground beef with some rhubarb barbecue sauce that we got from our friend Mish in Whitehorse, and ground beef and some cheddar cheese.
Oh my goodness. Look how good that looks. If you're afraid of carbohydrates but love burgers, this is the direction for you.
Exactly.
All right, first bite, impressions. It tastes exactly like a burger. There's just no bun. It's so good. Well, this camp spot was cool. Unfortunately, it is absolutely infested with mosquitoes, and they seem to be able to walk through walls or materialize out of thin air. We were swatting mosquitoes all last night and this morning, and just like, where are they coming from? We thought we killed 30 of them already, and they're still here. So we're gonna take off and we're gonna go find an easy hike to do, and hopefully get eyes on some more beautiful Yukon beauty.
That can interfere with the person's ability to get a task done. But they think it's kind of like his, I'm detail oriented, I like to organize. That is not.
So I think I said yesterday that we were gonna go find a small hike. Well, we definitely did not do that. We found probably the biggest hike we've done, or will be doing. This is King's Throne, 1,300 meters almost, and 16 kilometers, and we're starting kind of late in the day. So we'll see if we can smash this one out, and we're probably gonna come home to the van totally wrecked. But you know what? YOLO, right? People still say that, right? Yeah, nah.
Hiking to a lot of people must look really stupid. Hauling yourself and 20 to 30 pounds of clothing, food, and water up a steep incline to get to the top of a mountain just so you can go back down. I mean, yeah, when I say it like that, it does sound stupid. But here's the thing about hiking, or perhaps just existing in the mountains. It's about standing in awe of something far greater than oneself. The grandeur of the mountains, with their towering peaks and ancient majesty, reminds us of the sheer scale of nature's wonders. No human creation in all of history can compare to the colossal beauty and timelessness of these natural giants. Hiking with each step serves as a humbling reminder that you are but a tiny speck in the grand tapestry of the world, an ant traversing the vast, unyielding terrain of the earth. The mountains, with their silent, steadfast presence, whisper of the enduring power and mystery of the natural world.
You look like Cliff.
To eat a sandwich and this guy won't let me.
You look like Cliffhanger, babe.
Shut up.
You got this.
Don't say that.
Meg doesn't like encouragement.
I'm scared. Don't do this. If you're watching, don't do this.
Do it. It's worth it. Hard things are always worth it. We're going there, right there.
Maybe.
I'm gonna do it.
If it's not too scary.
Close your eyes, hear the voice within calling. This heavy load got under your skin, hauling. You got the white knuckles holding on it tight, keeping your feelings bottled up inside.
I just cannot get over how beautiful this mountain is. As the light kind of catches the different ridges, you got little sunspots come over with the clouds. Oh man, what a place.
Holy Toledo.
Holy Toledo! Yeah.
Yeah.
Moments pass, make this one count. Untie. You're so good at dragging yourself down.
What impresses upon me the most is the fact that all of this exists in spite of us. I've already mentioned how these mountains have existed here long before we were here, and will continue to exist long after. When we walk down the mountain and leave the park, these mountains remain here, silently standing watch over whatever secret world reemerges when we depart.
Sure. Okay.
Breathe out. Look at the colors, colors, colors around. You got the white knuckles.
This place is truly spectacular.
Keeping your feelings bottled up inside.
We can do infinite hikes here.
Hey. Oh, that stunk. Hey. You know what's bad when you can smell it on a windy mountaintop?
Breathe in, breathe out. Hey, come alive. Breathe in, breathe out. Look at the colors, colors, colors around. Look at the colors, colors, colors around.
Well, that's King's Throne. 1,300 meters?
Just over 1,300 meters, almost 7K up.
That's
Two
it.
thumbs up. 10 out of 10.
I only have one thumb up because I'm holding the camera. But that's another peek in the bag. Let's go down. This is going to be the painful part.
Yep.
Pew, 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 pew.
What doing?
I'm flapping.
We are flapping.
Look at me flap. Flippy flap flap, flippy flap flap. Flippy dippy flap flap.
Wow. Ah, look.
And so begins the Knee Knacker 3000. You got this, knees. Thumbs up, knees. You can do it. Look at how sharp this rock is. It's like, that's almost like a razor edge. You could cut stuff with that. Dang. You doing great, baby?
Darling,
Yes?
cut that out.
What?
Death defying this is.
Don't tell Pam. Was that excellent air guitar? Excellent air guitar. You play some heavy metal music on that. Jelly beans.
Right? They look fake.
Oh, just
Isn't that amazing?
yeah, it sure is. You gonna give me one?
You said you didn't want one.
Before. Now I want one.
Now that you saw
Gimme.
how beautiful they look. I don't know. They're gonna be kind of sour, these ones, I think. Good luck. Trees are.
Tell me about it.
I made us spaghetti bolognese last night, and there's more than enough for our post-hike dinner at 8:20 p.m. It's just what a gift.
You're amazing. Have I ever told you about how amazing you are?
Yes.
And that also looks amazing. Yes. No! No! Friggin' elbows are always. Oh, it's cold! It's very cold! Please! It is seeping into my.
What?
Into me everywhere! Oh, I can't believe I drained almost half the.
I feel like you don't like it. You don't even care that it's there.
I do! I love the Parmesan.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you have the rest.
It's Monday, which means the post office is open and our errands day is ahead of us. What fun.
Alright, camera's rolling.
It's a short drive to Haines Junction from here. When we finish there, we'll once again be heading northward, this time to the Beaver Creek crossing into Alaska. We have some friends to visit and unexplored areas to see.
Well, we finally got the package that we've been waiting for, and hopefully this deals with our electrical woes. Thumbs up.
Here. What are you doing? So we still need to fill up.
That's like a sponsor tell me I got all the things that are going to fall apart if I build.
Yeah.
An hour more of driving and we'd pulled off the highway and found ourselves bumping down a narrow road towards our final camp spot in Yukon for the time being.
Wow, look at the river down there.
It's not a river.
It's not?
No, it's an inlet.
For the lack.
Yeah.
We've got our own personal jetty.
Well, I've been working away for 2 hours, something like that, and I have solved our issue. I put in the old DC-DC charger that we had from Betty version 2.0, and it seems to be working fine. We turned on the van and we immediately saw a charge on the battery, so I think we're not going to have any more battery problems, but we're crossing our fingers because if we do, then I don't know, we get a new battery maybe. So, but I'm really happy to say that I think our power problems are solved for now.
When looking back at this short sliver of time that we have shared with you, I hope that the details of these memories we have made don't grow blurry too quick. I hope to look back on this moment as if gazing down on a familiar old and crinkled map, a map of our lives, to trace dotted lines pointing out special spots and savoring the warm feeling of nostalgia for the moments we experienced. Three weeks and 3 days is how long we've spent in Alaska, and we're now a mere 3 hours from crossing back into Canada to continue our way up to the most northern point in our Pan-American journey. This stretch of road that starts just south of Tok, Alaska, passes through Chicken, and eventually ends in Dawson City, Yukon, is known as the Top of the World Highway. The Poker Creek border crossing is located literally at the top of a mountain, and as the road descends towards Dawson City and the Yukon River, it stays atop a continuous mountain ridge, hence its name, Top of the World. But before we get to the border, we'll be driving some high-quality tarmac, complete with the finest frost heave our suspension has seen to date. Let's go!
All I think about when the van is doing this on bumpy roads is olive oil and sourdough starter. Have the jars smashed.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of thinking we should put Betty on tracks. What do you think?
Betty on tracks? No? You go
No.
everywhere.
No.
No? Some fun frost heave and possibly a blown shock later, we arrived at Chicken Gold Camp. According to Wikipedia, Chicken was settled by gold miners in the late 19th century. In 1902, the local post office was established requiring a community name. Due to the prevalence of ptarmigan in the area, that name was suggested for the official name of the community. However, the spelling could not be agreed on, and simply Chicken was used to avoid embarrassment. There's a lot of remaining derelict mining equipment left over for one to browse through. It's pretty neat to see all this old technology and ponder how it was done this far out when getting anything up here back in the early 1900s was a monumental effort. People back then simply knew nothing of the kind of convenience we know today. Final few miles before the Canadian border, the road turns to tarmac again. So, we get to listen to the pleasant sound of air-down tires humming loudly on the road.
That's a view and a half right there, folks. Just a view and a half. Yeah. Customs 1 mile. Out in the middle of freaking nowhere.
Are you filming?
Bye, Alaska!
Bye, Alaska!
See you later!
Yay! We're leaving Alaska finally. And we're back in Canada. Woo! And back on ground. So that's good.
Oh, it's a bit overgrown, ain't it?
Ever since driving the top of the world highway the first time, I've dreamt of camping in a few spots I spotted on the first pass. This being one of them. I'm not sure why this road exists, perhaps it was the original stretch of highway. Either way, it leads up to a spot with absolutely epic views. Passing through this region of Yukon, you're treated with expansive views of these low, rolling mountains. As there are no tall peaks to trap clouds, the weather rolls past quickly. You can watch as rain pockets come and go and dappled sunlight warms selected patches of ground. In a week's time, these rolling mountains will be set ablaze with deep red as the low scrub dons its fall colors and sparse patches of deciduous leaves begin to yellow. Not long after, the snow will fall and this ribbon of dirt will be closed for the winter.
chicken Caesar wraps.
Chicken Caesar wraps?
Yeah,
Wow.
so good.
So delicious.
Yeah, we buy frozen chicken strips in the van sometimes.
Nice.
Want to see that? Want to see it?
Oh, lordy. That looks delicious. So scrumptious.
It's like a restaurant.
Yeah. Well, we're back in Canada, babe.
Yeah.
Cheers. I love you.
No, me too.
Delicious.
What's this?
What's for dessert?
Ooh, chocolate chip sourdough banana bread.
Oh my gosh.
Yummy.
Again, gotta close his doors. Animal to eat up. It is so cold out right now. Oh, okay. Well, thank heavens for a heater, because this morning it is very, very cold. Last night I didn't get to shoot it because I saw it at the last moment, but right outside our door a wolf walked by, and that was pretty crazy. And then yeah, just like blew a gale all last night. So we're gonna move on down the highway a little bit today and find another spot to camp, maybe at a slightly lower elevation. Fingers crossed that it is a little bit warmer, because I was not ready for winter. We just drove past this and I'm like, I gotta go in there. It's mandatory for me to come in here, see what's up the trail. Let's go see what's up the trail. Okay. Yeah, well, our little side quest ended. Okay. Just one second. Are we about to find the spot?
Yeah!
Oh, yeah. Yep. that spot. You see, sometimes side quests pay off.
With an abundance of already bucked up logs in this spot, I thought it would be a marvelous opportunity to enjoy fire. We haven't enjoyed many fires this season due to the amount of rain that we've seen, nor have we spent as much time outside of the van at camp due to bugs and rain. Now it's cool outside, no bugs, and seemingly no rain.
Well,
So much for the fire.
rest in peace, fire. Because a new cloud of rain came by. Come on, Mother Nature, I just want to light stuff on fire. Come on. Let me light stuff on fire. There are two kinds of beauty in this world. Natural and edible. That is edible beauty.
And I was talking over your shot.
What if you might love?
What does it look like?
Delicious spaghetti.
Yeah, and everybody else knows it too. Sketty. Sketty bolognese.
Balkanized.
Approaching sundown, a calmness fell over the forest. No wind, a break in the rain, and silence. The kind that you stand there for a while just to take it in. It's times like these that thoughts about the world's existence in spite of us comes into my head. This is all just here, in spite of us. The next day, we were set to drive the final stretch to Dawson City. I topped up our tank with cheap Alaskan fuel, and then we were on our way. As our last spot wasn't far from the Yukon River, we made it down to the ferry quickly, drove straight on, and soon after found ourselves driving through the streets of Dawson. We attended to a day of errands in preparation for embarking on our drive up the Dempster Highway. But that'll be in the next episode. Meg and I want to thank all of you who choose to sit down and travel with us every week for a sliver of time. We sincerely appreciate your kind comments, well wishes, and words of encouragement. If you're new here, welcome. We hope you choose to stay. And lastly, we hope that our stories encourage you to get outside and make your own long-lasting memories. There's a big, beautiful world out there, and you belong in it.
Well, it's a new day. Let's go up the Dempster Highway.
We've just spent a day in Dawson City, Yukon, preparing to drive the Dempster Highway. Anticipation is high and we're eager to start, but we have one last task: fill every fuel receptacle to the brim because it's going to be a long haul. Make a mental note of that.
Well, there's the Dempster Highway sign. At the very least, we can prove that we were on the Dempster.
All right, well, let's get started. 800 kilometers of dirt, something like that.
The Dempster Highway is a roughly 890 kilometer stretch of gravel that starts 40 kilometers south of Dawson City, Yukon, and terminates in Tuktoyaktuk, Northwest Territories at the Arctic Ocean. This stretch of gravel passes through the Tombstone Territorial Park, the Ogilvie and Richardson mountain ranges, crosses both the Mackenzie and the Peel River, and only has 2 fuel stops before Inuvik. Eagle Plains at kilometer marker 369 and Fort McPherson at kilometer 555. The highway itself isn't inherently dangerous. There are no steep grades, shelf roads, or scary obstacles. However, the danger lies in the road's remoteness, surface quality, and ever and rapidly changing weather conditions. Traveling along the Dempster is a completely different experience from one day to the next. It's best to go prepared with a spare tire, patch kit, emergency rations, and some form of long-distance communication at the very least. We plan to take our time on the Dempster because another opportunity to make this iconic drive is a long ways off.
Well, we made it to Tombstone. Huzzah! I'm gonna do a quick walk down this trail to see, wanna slip?
I try not to slip.
Our first spot on the Dempster was quiet, tranquil, away from the road, and close to water. Just the way we like it.
Alright, first night on the Dempster. What are we eating?
Salmon rice bowls.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, they look pretty. They smell really delicious.
Oh, good. I heated up the salmon this time.
Ooh.
That's fancy.
What the heck are you doing?
Chopping up seaweed. What does it look like?
Oh, that's utilitarian.
With the scissors?
Yeah. Not delicious. I really like the pickled onions.
You do?
Yeah.
So we're just inside of Tombstone National Park right now. The plan is to stay here like probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 days or something like that. We're gonna do a few hikes. At the very least, we're gonna do Grizzly Bear Lake. We'll see how far we get today on that trail. We might just make it to a high point and then come back around, and I don't know. The weather's not really cooperating with us. We have yet again found the clouds and the rain. It's just been on and off rain all night. But whatever, we're up here. We're super stoked about it, and it's just so beautiful. So feeling very grateful. Well, we are here at the Grizzly Lake Trail in Tombstone National Park.
Territorial Park.
Territorial Park. And yeah, we're just gonna see how far we can get today, because kind of starting pretty late in the day.
As always.
As always, work and stuff. And yeah, I think it's gonna be a beautiful hike. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi. Well, the sun was out for all of a minute.
The phrase, "a picture says 1,000 words," comes to mind when watching these video clips, because I'm quite certain 1,000 words isn't going to cut it. To accurately describe the beauty of this place would take a book, and it may still then fall short. Even with the low clouds partially obscuring the mountaintops, the fall colors still punch through from the hillsides below. offsetting the gray skies, as if the mountains wore floral print trousers and a drab gray turtleneck. I recall asking myself aloud a number of times, is this place even real? Are we really here?
Well, as you can see, it's totally sucked in here. Kind of teased us on the entire way up, and then we got to this point where there's another 500-meter drop that way with another like additional 4 kilometers of hiking, and we're at 7K, so return would be more than we've already hiked, and there may be zero visibility down the lake. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna attempt it again when we come south on the Depster. All right, you ready to go back to the van? She says yes. She says yes.
Of course, nature being a playful and sometimes cruel character in our story has opened up the clouds, allowing sunspots to grace the foliage below, only as we were headed down the mountain. The clouds lifted just enough to see the upper levels of the peaks around Grizzly Lake. But we were already being summoned by the comforts of home, and we were well on our way back.
Well, literally as I went to take this shot, clouds started going by, but I think if we had continued to hike, we would have been down to the lake right around the time that the clouds lifted enough for us to see the peaks. Oh well, I guess we'll just have to come back, do it again. Whoops.
Or we would have been down there and it would have been another huge cloud that we got sucked into.
Yeah.
So.
Oh.
Pretty. I had longingly glanced back at this small peak as we ascended towards the lake, and on the way down, a most excellent idea sprang into my head. A sacrifice to the metal gods was due.
Finally made it home. Oh, it's good to be home.
In keeping with being a playful and cruel but sometimes gracious character, nature, in recompense for denying us the lake, treated us to a truly memorable show of sunlight as we drove towards a camp spot for the night. Although the jagged Fitzroy-like peaks remained shrouded in cloud.
Kinda mysterious, shaded with someone I'm not really into. Do you need to fix it? Talking bullshit.
Well, the master chef has struck again. After our hike, we went right to work making dinner, and then she's gonna go back to work after this.
Hey.
We are both absolutely wrecked after that hike for some reason. I don't think I want to move tomorrow at all. What about you? And we moved. Despite our sore and tired bodies, we moved. In a place like this, we wanted to stay at all of the camp spots.
But let's not talk about you. Your cloudy song on a rerun. Are you hound dog tired singing all night long?
The next morning, we were due to move again. Our friends Andrea and Christian were on the southbound leg of their trip and had stopped a few hours north of us. With weather moving into the park, our hiking options were starting to diminish quickly, and, of course, we had so many things to see and places to be.
How does the drive just keep on getting more beautiful and more beautiful?
I don't know.
Holy moly.
This is amazing.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
If you haven't noticed by now, the fall colors are coming in hard and fast. Nature, our playful friend, has donned her painter's apron and now wields a paintbrush and palette. Upon the ground, she frantically splashes paint, the colors slowly bleeding into each other to create a vibrant rainbow. Luckily, we're able to observe her work from the sky.
Road.
We can do it.
Cold plunge?
What, man? Am I in your shot?
Darling, it's a nice shot. Stop being annoying. You were allowed to be in it.
How's the window washing going there, love?
Yeah, it's gonna take a couple of trips.
Yeah? Looks like you're just kind of smearing it around.
Mud pusher.
You're doing a great job smearing the mud around on the windows.
Hey. Just quiet. Quiet down over there.
Okay. You're doing such a great job, babe.
Thanks for your support.
You're welcome. Love you.
Check out how clear the back windows are.
Probably a lot better than before.
This spot was perfection. After weeks of inclement weather and very little sunshine, to sit here and soak up the sun while listening to the subtle gurgle of flowing water was a long-awaited and welcome reprieve. The mountains, like towering sentinels, stood there and looked outward, awaiting whatever funny trick nature had to play, impartial to our temporary existence atop our gravel bar paradise.
What you cooking, good looking?
Just the standard sourdough flatbread.
Standard, hey?
Yeah.
So modest.
The weekly flatbread operation.
It's a pretty impressive operation.
Thanks, babe.
Cooking in the sunshine. Oh yeah.
Beginner love.
We're having sausage gnocchi. 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 Gnocchi.
Gnocchi. Gnocchi.
Alex's favorite dinner of all time.
Whoa.
Those golden morsels.
Golden morsels.
Yeah.
That looks real good.
And with that, night began to descend upon our little camp. But nature decided at the last moment to shine upon us one last time, sending us a gift. Not a rainbow upon the ground, but instead floated an arch of color over her friends, the sentinels. Our goal today was to reach our friends who were still stationed north of us near the Arctic Circle. So we left our little sliver of comfort and drove headlong into the darkness. At this point, we had passed Eagle Plains without topping up on our fuel in hopes that gas prices would be cheaper in Fort McPherson. I knew that our onboard fuel would easily last until then.
Circle sign. Alright, just keep on moving.
We made it, everybody. It's pissing rain now. Get out of the road, guys! Beep, beep! Oh! Oh! That was cool.
Oh, these guys again.
What the heck?
What in the heck?
It's like they're following us or something.
I know, right?
Ah.
What are you doing here? I don't know. What are you doing here? We belong here. Hey, this is our spot now. Did you brought the rain or? No, I brought the sun.
You want me to show you my shoes?
Those are your shoes.
Yep,
They're nice shoes.
right. They used to be white.
But then you went running through some water crossings.
Yeah, then I came to Canada and this happened.
Hi there, handsome. Not Joe.
Although we had outrun nature and her tricks, she was about to catch up with us, hitting us with a volley of heavy, dark, and foreboding clouds.
Just as we're sitting down for dinner.
Of course.
I love this.
Why would it be any other way? Did you make curry? Oh yeah.
Oh, he's making curry for friends.
Anyways.
I lost my bracelet. I told you. If you find it in talk, please bring it back to me.
After the previous evening's volley of rain clouds, another came. But this one was cold, as if we had done something to anger nature. She was seemingly displeased. Perhaps it was my sacrifice to the metal gods that she was so jealous of. We'll never be sure. This was the beginning of a long and challenging drive day, laced with some misfortunes that carried the possibility of leading to more painstaking ones.
Gang signs. Whatever. Yeah. Bloods. I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah. Bye. Click, 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 click.
See you never. Woo!
Oh, babe, what do you figure?
Let's get the hell out of here.
So this morning we woke up to freezing rain, and it's not freezing, but it's, freezing. It's cold. So it's supposed to be like this here all day today. So we're just gonna make tracks and boogie on all the way up to Inuvik. At least we're gonna try. It's still a long ways away, but yeah.
The road to this point hadn't been particularly bad. However, with the addition of torrential rain and an unexpected surprise, road conditions progressively deteriorated. As we approached the Richardson mountain range, we started to see something that us southern BCers were not yet ready to see.
Well, welcome to the Northwest Territories. We made it to Northwest Territories!
It's snowing!
What is this? Woo! Can you believe this? This is the end of August. What the heck?
And watch out, guys. There's a hill.
A long descent from the mountains later, we reached the Mackenzie River and our first ferry. And not long after, the unforeseen minor misfortune.
Well, that right there is a very dirty van. Woo! Holy smokes.
Whale came up here.
No way.
A beluga.
Oh,
Once it died, never seen him again.
wow.
Yeah. Yeah, you see that? There must be climate change actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the first time I ever seen that kind of wave that happened up here.
Well, we just got to Fort McPherson, and there's no gas pump. We have 185 kilometers to get to Inuvik, and probably just enough fuel. Cool, let's go.
Oh shit, really?
So for the record, Meg did say to me, you should probably fill up in Eagle Plains. And I was like, oh no, we got spare fuel, it's fine, we can make it to Fort McPherson. We can probably make it to Inuvik easily. Well, unfortunately, this drive has been pretty rough, and our fuel mileage has not been doing very well just because our tires are aired down. We've been driving through snow, and we're sitting just above a quarter tank right now. And we can probably make it to Inuvik, but we're likely to be on fumes by the time we get there. So, yay, adventure!
Gonna go say hi?
Well, some fellow van friends that came to visit us last night are ahead of us. And they gave us a radio, and we're gonna drive together to Inuvik. Just make sure that if we do run out of fuel, we'll have someone to take us all the way into town.
Aww. It was gonna be such a dramatic YouTube video moment until you just entered the car.
I mean, there's so many people driving this route right now that there's gonna be someone bound to pick me up.
Ran out of fuel on the Dempster on purpose?
Oh, we're gonna be beside our friends.
There's our friends right there. What do you think about being on another ferry, huh?
It's just like home.
Just like home. We're in British Columbia right now, right?
Crossing stuff.
Yeah,
Crossing waters.
How much further do we have to go?
40 clicks.
40 clicks. We are pretty much
Gas light just came on?
gas light just came on.
Oh gosh.
It's getting down to the wire. I don't know, we're gonna get stranded out here. Oh man, we're so far out, remote. What are we gonna do?
Just freaking put her pedal to the metal and get her done, eh, bud? We'll get there, no problem.
What's 3K to the gas station and we're still moving. We
Made it. Woo.
Gas
Up and pay inside.
up and pay inside. Gas up and pay inside, sweetie. She's thirsty.
She's real thirsty.
I hope your pockets are deep.
They are today. $272 for 118 liters. That was a full tank.
The fullest
Yeah,
tank.
because we have 118 liters in this tank. Holy smokes!
It was empty.
That was awesome.
Darn it!
So, on the fuel that we can carry on the van, we can confidently say we can make it 768 kilometers.
Confidently.
Yeah, because
we got such bad fuel mileage there.
yeah. Definitely. And a little bit more because I started the started the trip counter kind of late.
800K. Let's call it 800. Let's call it 800
800K,
even.
for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. Totally. So there's our buddies Charlie van. And we got hand up radios to them because they drove behind us to save our asses in case we ran out of fuel.
Yes, you're cute.
Being a good boy.
Who's this?
There you
This
go.
is
That's R2.
R2? R2D2?
Yeah. Only we gave him a nice spelling, A-R-T-U.
Oh, okay.
But there you go. There you go. Oh, and then there's Rose.
Hi, Rose.
There's Rose.
Oh, my goodness.
We think she might have some Pyrenees syndrome.
Oh, cool.
She's much more guardy than the other dogs.
You missed her one.
Well, we got a little creative getting in here. This is actually a spot that I stayed in back in 2017 when I came to Inuvik, and we're skeptical as to whether we'll get out of here, but at least we can stay here for a night. That'll be nice. It's right on the river. And yeah, everything is muddy. We're super tired, so we're just gonna go to sleep. See you in the morning.
Ow.
What in the Jack Sparrow is going on here? Holy heck! Hello, Fox. Very cute.
Do you think he'll come?
Do not open the door. Come back. Come back. Goodbye.
For another brief moment, we had either outrun the rain or nature was smiling upon us, but our fortunes would only last so long.
Well, apparently the clouds have caught up with us. It is cold again. We once again missed the Aurora Borealis last night, and we're very quickly running out of propane. Welcome to van life. We're gonna go up the Tuk today, finish this journey, and then start heading south where it's warm and there's more propane. Right? Huh? Okay, sweet.
It looks looks a little bent. Maybe that's from when you hit it though.
Yeah, that's when I backed into the tree.
Good job, sweetie.
Didn't want to do what I did last time where I didn't give it enough gas.
And from Inuvik, we drove out into the Arctic tundra and the final leg of our journey along the Dempster Highway to the Arctic Ocean. If you haven't walked on Arctic tundra before, it's like walking across a bumpy carpet of mossy tussocks. The surface looks uniform from afar, but in some places it's squishy, and in others your foot goes right through to the moist ground beneath. It's an odd and foreign sensation for those of us that come up here from the south, but an experience I think everyone should partake in. The landscape up here is deceivingly flat, but infinitely varied and peppered with millions of lakes, rivers, and ponds. I couldn't help but think about what it would be like to drive up here in the winter.
What do you think about being up in the Arctic?
Yeah, it's cool, dude.
It's cool, dude. It's radical, dude. Okay, if you guys will bear with me for a second, I just wanted to show you our new rig. So that's Betty the van, and this is Betty 1 million point oh.
Me for scale?
Yep. What do you guys think? Should we just buy this and travel down to Patagonia with it? Yeah? Well, it's a fairly unceremonious approach to the Arctic Ocean sign, but there it is. We're at the Arctic Ocean. Everyone else in the airplane. Yeah, we did it too. Ready? Yeah? Okay.
Despite a few reports from other travelers, we quite enjoyed Tuk. Oddly enough, it reminded me of Newfoundland. Perhaps it's the colorful houses, weathered and hardy people, or the coastal chill, but it was a feeling I couldn't shake. While walking through the streets, we saw continual suggestions of what this place is really like when the tourists clear out and the winter night descends upon the Arctic. It was pretty clear that there is a world here that we don't see or really understand, a culture rooted in a long lineage of survivalists. People so driven, resourceful, and strong that they would remain here when the rest of the world would want nothing more than to be on a tropical beach, far away from minus 50 degrees Celsius temperatures and relentless blowing snow. I imagined how different growing up here would be. We saw children jumping on trampolines and riding bikes, but those seemed to be the only similarities. There are no tree forts here, no fall leaf piles to jump into, no theaters, malls, or arcades. The way of life here is starkly different from ours, and therefore truly fascinating.
Well, hon,
Well,
welcome to the Arctic Ocean, Tuktoyaktuk.
officially the start of our Pan American journey.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
I can't believe that.
Great.
And what do we have for dinner here at Tuktoyaktuk?
We've got high protein creamy pasta with toasted panko breadcrumbs, parsley, and Parmesan cheese.
Sounds delicious.
It's gonna be good.
Let's dig in.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Let's do it.
All right.
Hi. Beep beep beep
Hello.
beep 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 beep.
How was it?
Beep. Well, I went in the one that you went in. Darn it! I thought you said
What?
I went in the one you went in.
Yeah. And?
You told me to go in that one specifically because it was empty. That wasn't empty.
There you go.
Slow roamers of the Arctic.
Well, babe, is it time to leave Tuktoyaktuk?
Yeah. It's been good.
All right. Well, it's gonna be another 800 plus kilometer drive to get back to Dawson. Let's do it.
This is the official start of our Pan American journey. For the next year and a half, we will be headed south until we arrive in Ushuaia, Argentina. This goal, reaching Tuk to start from the very top so we can go all the way down, has been a project that we have been working on since only 6 months after we met. It has taken time, money, determination, vision, and perseverance, and we are finally doing it. This is it. We are going, and there is no stopping us.
$176 for 75 liters.
So what's that?
Lots of money.
$450
For it's gonna be more. It'll
for
be
fuel on the Dempster at Inuvik.
yeah.
Just here.
So we'll let you guys know how much it costs once we get all the way to Dawson. Gulp.
At the end of our first day of southbound travel, we stopped off just south of Inuvik for the night. We awoke to silent stillness. Hopefully a good omen for our day of travel. Our pace for this direction of the Dempster is a little quicker as we would like to stay in the Richardson Range for a night or two. We didn't know it yet, But if we were thinking the way up the Dempster was incredible, we had another thing coming. When searching for a good camp spot, we like to exercise a bit of flair and often try for the highest, most epic spot we can find. We had spotted this road on our northbound trip and thought the microwave tower at the top may be cool to camp beside. Meg was driving while I was flying the drone. Nearing the top, the road began to narrow with a steep ditch on one side and a significant slope on the other side. Paying attention to what I was doing, I failed to notice the snowdrift covered road ahead until Meg was almost on top of it. By the time Meg suggested we stop, we were already in a tricky situation.
Slowly backing down. Oh. Sheesh. This is terrifying.
You know, I'm a firm believer that if you don't go and do something stupid ever so often, life can get a little bland. It's good to spice things up with a little bit of low-grade adventure from time to time. That being said, I'm glad we didn't find ourselves in a worse predicament. We backed out of this situation easily. Had we continued to push onwards, things may have wound up a little bit dicier.
I don't know what I would do without Alex. I probably wouldn't find myself up a snowy road, but holy cow. If I had to back down that, slipping like she was, I would have been shitting my pants.
Oh no. Gosh.
Betty really reaches her limits with the snow.
Yeah. This stuff is particularly bad because, as I was saying to Meg earlier, it's like fluffy, but it's just starting to melt, so it turns to ice really, really quickly. And yeah, and then that road like narrows super fast over there. So I had to like kind of back up really, really slowly so that the wheels continue to turn and don't slide. And then actually it helped to get into the stuff we hadn't tracked down yet because it had a little bit more grip. But I think we'll go down a little bit and find a different spot that's maybe a little bit safer.
I would have been shitting myself, sweetie.
Well, that's a good thing I'm driving.
So pretty.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Everything we do together, we learn from. Every hard thing we accomplish informs our future selves. Every lesson we take away from a risky situation is a lesson we can apply when we're further out. And we will get further out. I promise you that.
Alex must see what is at the end of the makeshift road.
Of course. Yeah, I think this is the top. I think this is the top. As far as the road goes. Holy crap!
The happy camp frolic.
Holy smokes. What do you think? Do you think it's like best camp spot ever?
It's definitely close.
Top 5.
Top 5.
Top 5.
Yeah.
Wow.
Amazing.
Now that
Look at that canyon.
is a vista right there. Northwest Territories, baby. All right, I'm a little bit late to the food feature tonight. Now, we've been on the Dempster for about 8 days now, and usually our longest point is about 10 days, and that's if we can absolutely jam-pack the van full of food. So it's maybe a little less imaginative, but it is very delicious, and I want to show you guys. So I'm going to let Meg take it from here.
It's just some leftover bean and veggie soup. And to make things a little bit more exciting, since we don't have any bread, I made little pita cheese pita pockets. Like grilled cheese sandwiches. But
Show me inside. Show me inside. All right. Well, camera doesn't want to focus, so we're just gonna say that those are cheesy pockets. Cheese pockets.
cheesy pita pockets.
Yeah, cheesy pita pockets. Delicious. Look how pretty it is. Look how pretty it is. It's so pretty. Pretty, pretty.
Why?
I don't actually have words for this place. I cannot describe it. Usually words don't fail me, but what I can tell you is that when I look upon this place, my heart throbs. I feel the intrinsic longing for this place, as though I am intimately connected to this landscape, that my love for these sweeping vistas is deep and wise, and that I will forever be gripped with wonder at the enormity, vastness, and monumental beauty of this world, and I feel infinitely blessed to wander upon it.
So last night it blew a gale all night long. It was super windy, but for the first time on this trip, we finally saw the aurora borealis. Now, unfortunately, I did not get out of the van and set up the camera because it's blustering cold outside and it was super windy, but we can finally say that we both saw it, which was like, yay. And it was far more epic than anything that I've seen in northern Alberta, so that was cool. But it was also mostly obscured by the clouds, which was unfortunate. But
We're gonna see it again.
we're gonna see it again because we're still gonna be up in the Yukon for, I don't know, another week and a half or something like that. But sunrise is happening right now, and the whole inside of the van is lit up really pretty.
Glowy.
And we're gonna stay here today because it's beautiful and we have work to catch up on, and we just want to absorb this area as much as possible before finishing the Dempster Highway. So we have been working away all day long. I'm just trying to put together this Dempster Highway video, and it has been blowing harder than we have ever experienced in the van. And you can also tell that we are running out of food because tonight for dinner there is pancakes. So we're having breakfast for dinner, which is I'd say one of our favorites. Look at that stack of flappers. Oh yeah.
In most cases, I'm not a fan of the wind, but when it reaches legendary levels, there is a draw to it that I cannot ignore and need to go and find myself amongst it. Or perhaps I was sitting in the van for too long and had to get the wiggles out. Either or. The following morning yet again brought stillness. Our fickle friend nature seemed to be playing games with us again. The day prior, we could barely be outside because of the cold and fear of being blown away, and now, utter calm.
Well, it's something like 7 o'clock in the morning right now, and the sun is coming up late enough now that we actually get a sunrise. And today it is like, it's warm. It's crazy. It feels like the desert right now, like just a kind of cool morning before the sun hits and it really starts to warm up. It's pretty special, actually.
We enjoyed the peace and quiet for a while before packing up and moving on. The long stretch of rolling mountains between the Richardson Range and Ogilvie Range awaited us, and we were determined to camp again in the mountains, in a spot we were eager to return to.
Step 1, empty jerry can.
Step 2, fill up on very, very expensive gas. $2.48 a liter here in Eagle Plains.
Yowza!
So we're at about $450 in gas to do the Dempster, and we might put in 50 more bucks here. So $500 it costs to drive the Dempster.
Longest gasoline pour ever.
Why is it taking so long?
These ones aren't vented, these cans.
Nature had been busy with her paintbrush while we were away. What we left was yellow blending into green. What we returned to was large swaths of vibrant yellow in the valleys and hillsides of bright red.
Had to come back.
You're good.
Tonight's dinner brought to you by Megan Shaw. What do we have tonight?
I love this little thing we do.
Yeah?
It's a canned fish bowl.
Yeah, we did this at the very...
Yum.
We did this at the very beginning of the dumpster.
Sometimes I have the ick with certain foods right before I eat them. And I'm having the ick with the tinned fish right now, so wish me luck.
Well, at least it's not that like Swedish or Norwegian tin of fish that makes everyone hurl.
Ooh, what's that?
We'll look it up later.
Okay.
All right, here's the best part of its meal. So we got these big nori sheets, seaweed sheets.
Yep, nori. Got it.
Just pick it up. Look at this. It's like a sushi roll. Oh, so good. Woo!
It seems like our days of bright, warm sunshine have really been few and far between this summer, and a chance, even for a few minutes before we get back to driving, to simply exist in the sunlight is so welcome and cherished. This is our last full day on the Dempster, and also my birthday. The sun is shining and warm, so we'll take the opportunity to stretch our legs and look down at the world from a high place.
Well, today we are hiking, I think it's called Sapper Hill, which is a short but steep climb up to some interesting rock things. Whew. It's apparent that we've been driving for the past like 6 days. I'm already out of breath. Yeah, should be a good hike. Good views. Let's do it. Someone said hill, but I don't believe them. Doesn't look like a hill. What the heck?
Sorry?
This isn't a hill. Why do I feel like I'm dying already?
Ow! Ow!
So they should have called this hike Soaker Hill, because somehow it's just sloppy the whole way up. Almost there. Almost there. Wow.
Hello.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's windy. That's what I think. But it's awesome. Love it.
As far as birthday activity goes, this is pretty good. As far as big payoff for little effort, this hike was like winning the lottery. The last 150 kilometers of the Dempster remains. By sundown, we will be back in Dawson City and preparing for our next adventure. This stretch of gravel has yet again opened our eyes to more of the country we call home and filled our minds with ideas and plans of exploring it further. But it will have to wait a while, because we won't stop until we get all the way south.
So I don't really know how Yukon keeps on offering up better and better spots. You would think that at some point you would reach the pinnacle of camp spots, but it just keeps on getting better. I mean, I know I say it like pretty much every single camp spot, this is the best spot. Could this be the best spot? Yeah. Yeah, this is pretty clutch.
Right, love. What have you made?
Well, it's a little bit disappointing that Alex's birthday is on our last day on the Dempster because we're all but out of groceries. So today I've made a peanut rice noodle bowl with veggies and tofu. And no special birthday dessert.
It's okay, you can get me back later.
Yeah. Postponed birthday dessert.
I'm probably going to enjoy this. Got a new beer, King Street Hazy IPA. Looks pretty delicious. And I think this is going to be scrumptious.
Yes.
Much success.
Yes.
Rolling into the tombstones, it was immediately apparent that we need to take one last chance to put our boots in the mud because these colors are legend, wait for it, dairy.
Shake it, babe. Yeah. Woo!
And just because we like to live life on the edge, we put just enough fuel in the tank to get us from Eagle Plains to the end of the Dempster. I'm kidding. I did not do that on purpose.
Huh? Do you see behind us?
I saw it. Are we gonna drive the Canol Road today?
Yeah, baby.
You.
Back to the Northwest Territories. Jinx. We thought we were only going south. Next minute.
We're going north.
All right, we're making cinnamon buns for Alex's belated birthday dessert. They're massive!
The birthday guy and his birthday dessert.
Yeah, look at these beautiful morsels. Oh, babe, you've not done yourself.
Mm-mm. Really?
You don't see that? Oh, is this even real? Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's like so soft and squishy.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Hello. How are you this morning, Mr. Raven?
Morning.
Guten Morgen!
Look at this.
Yeah, sunshine, warmth.
It's a good day for an adventure.
Yes, sir.
Roof now?
He's on the canoe. He's just canoodling around. Carl the Raven?
Carl the Crow. He is a raven, isn't he?
He's a raven. Yeah, I think his name is Randy.
That sounds way better.
Yeah, Randy the Raven. We're only a short drive away from Ross River, where we'll get fuel, purchase what we can from the small grocery store, and then press on to the Pelly Barge that will take us across the Pelly River to the start of the North Canol Road.
Oh, it's a barge! The Pelly Barge! Yeah. That's cool.
Once on the other side of the Pelly River, we air down our tires in preparation for roughly 220 kilometers of gravel. At this point, we had no idea what we were about to endure. Autumn at this point is in full swing, so we treated to a vibrant tapestry of yellows, greens, and oranges the entire way. first 20 or so kilometers of the Canol Road is relatively smooth, and maintaining speeds of up to 60 kilometers per hour wasn't difficult. The views, colors, and wildlife were all there. Our spirits were high, and the excitement for our destination was quickly building.
But no grizzly bears in Alaska.
Better things in your life than to stay through a bull.
Delving deeper into the wilderness, we saw the occasional hunting cabin and realized that people must live out here for portions of the year, which, if you know us well enough, really got our imaginations going.
You want to live here?
As we continued to drive, the state of the road progressively worsened and our overall speed slowly diminished.
I heard a huge crunch, but
I was like, oh, he's got a little too much juice on that because it went down in the puddle. That's fine.
that was fun.
yeah.
That was fun.
Everything's fine.
That was too much speed? I don't know. I'm just
I
here
know, I felt
along
like we
for the
just
ride.
went so fast. I think it's probably, I don't know, in the wet, in deep puddles, probably to go into it with more speed than less, but yeah, there was a bit of a bump there that we didn't warn you about. Sorry about that.
I think that might be the old culvert.
Yeah.
Eventually, after what seemed like days, we finally reached our first stop along the Canol Road, Dragon Lake. We arrived exhausted from the drive and in dire need of some food. Kyle and Alana, being quite new to this style of slow back road travel, were visually fatigued and stressed by the road. We all kind of disappeared into our respective home on wheels in hopes that sleep and food would have us prepared for the next day of travel, because who knew how bad the road might get past here.
Well, after that challenging day of rough road, how do you feel?
Hungry.
Hungry. And what's for dinner?
Leftover soup.
This is my favorite soup.
Italian sausage, noodles, and veggies with bone broth. It's really good. And Parmesan cheese on top.
Yeah. Hands down my favorite soup now. Meg is now, it's mandatory that you make this like at least once a week.
I bought some vegan sausage at the Ross River store, so
Okay.
I could make it. I could make a vegan version.
Well, we are pressing on today. We just kind of stopped off here last night. It's a really beautiful spot, but we want to get to the end of the road to camp. So we're moving, and we got another 100 kilometers or so to go today to get to the Northwest Territory or the next camp spot, wherever that may be. And then we're going to stay for a few days and kind of just relax a little bit. This road is rough. Really, really rough.
Spoiler, the road got a lot worse. We were in for a long day of slowly crawling through deep potholes and puddles. Over the duration of the day, our speed would not exceed 40 kilometers per hour and often slowed down to a mere 5 kilometers per hour in some of the worst sections. The Canol Road was quickly beginning to feel endless.
95 more K. Pretty sure we've already been driving for about 8 hours.
What the heck? How do we still have 95 kilometers left? Well, this is kind of exciting. We have officially reached the first, what I believe is called a supply dump. First graveyard. And by graveyard, I mean truck graveyard. So this is an old, army military supply route, and they have all these old. I don't know if they're power wagons or something, but there's a bunch of old military trucks here. That's pretty cool. Oh, that's so cool. Cool.
I'll need to correct myself here. At the time, I was well educated on the purpose of the Canol Road and why it existed. I had assumed, due to the name on the map, Army Truck Graveyard, that the Canol Road had something to do with the Alaska Highway, which was a military effort. In short, the Canol Road was built during World War II to support the construction of the Canol Pipeline, which was designed to transport oil from Norman Wells Northwest Territories to a refinery in Whitehorse, Yukon.
Hello.
After the war, however, much of the pipeline was dismantled, and today the road is only partially maintained for recreational use. Although these old trucks were in fact once used by the military.
More.
Yeah.
What the heck? Came down the road a little bit further, and there's even more of these military trucks on the side of the road. This is crazy. There's so many. Look at these things. Look at the front diff on that thing. It's huge. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, I want that. Meg, we gotta have a flip-up window. The lineup starts right here, and then the van is all the way over there. It's a long lineup.
Oh, yeah.
Our exploration of the graveyard complete, we pressed on towards camp for the night, which, by driving standards on the Canol Road, was still a long ways off.
Well, that's laughable. There is no chance that we are doing 60 kilometers an hour on this road ever.
Definitely not.
With our slow and steady pace, we finally reached camp. Earlier that day, we had passed 2 of our subscribers on the trail, and they'd steered us towards this spot, and even left some firewood for the next camper, which happened to be us.
Well, heck, this ain't bad. Big thanks to John and Nick. Another hunting shelter or something. There they are. Fancy seeing you here. Hey, you guys made it. We made it. You like that sweet? Love it. Welcome to driving on lots of gravel roads.
The evening had got chilly quickly, so a fire, one of the few during our entire stay up north, was a welcome chance to relax after a day of hard driving.
Yeah, it's either or. It's also one of those.
So we did that once, but you basically remember, and then you just go to the wine.
You can tell he loves that lifestyle and loves his property and his space.
We decided to stay a full day in that spot. With lots of work to catch up on and the weariness from the road not having left our bodies, we all felt it a good idea to stay and enjoy the spot for a while. Because, as you can see, it's well worth enjoying.
You shooting some video there, buds?
Just a little bit of footage.
Just a little bit of footage, hey? Sweet, dude.
Just out here looking for bears.
Oh, did you find any bears?
No.
Oh, shoot. I guess you're not a very good bear finder.
You know, as long as we strive to get better at finding bears, you know?
Like not today, bud. Yup. Oh, it's there. Back to the chopping.
It's a dinner, then back to the chopping.
Are you much excited for dinner?
Dumplings. Homemade dumpers.
All right, lady, what have you made?
Homemade dumplings.
You made homemade dumplings?
Tofu dumplings.
Wow.
Yummy.
So impressive.
So yummy.
Yeah, you're gonna eat one?
Yeah.
What? Jump out your bare feet.
Check out that crispy bottom.
You guys mind if we eat dinner on your front porch?
Yeah, just.
You're very obnoxious neighbors, you know that?
Sorry, guys.
While we're getting the shot, gosh.
Okay, let's. Yeah. Is it good? Okay, good. I want to eat now. Yeah. Meg's just been putting in all the work today. She's chopped all of this wood, went out, cut the tree down, bucked it up. Now she's chopping it. She's a mad woman, just obsessed with working. Practicing for her homesteading days. Way to go, love. I'll go wash the dishes and clean the floor, okay?
I already did that.
Okay.
Like that one doesn't smell like smoke, just like campfire.
You guys want me to leave these on or turn off?
I'm easy. Whatever.
Eating like Sunday morning.
One last fire before the next day of driving. The final few hours of rest before enduring more of the road that had somehow turned into our own personal form of torture. Why do we do this to ourselves? Because to consider yourself a modern day explorer, you have to do hard things, and sometimes hard things mean sitting in a seat for hours in a day just to get to the end of the road. Accepting that your life is going to be very uncomfortable for a period of time is something we're seldom asked to do nowadays. True exploration, adventure, overland travel, whatever you want to call it, means battling out whatever the road throws at you. Growing more adept at that means you'll be better prepared for the next thing later on.
So cool. Man, look at all of them.
You could get any parts? Salvage any parts?
Okay, this is definitely a power wagon. This is an old Dodge. Look at that thing. Oh, I want one so bad. I just want to put a Cummins 12 valve in one. And then, wait, is it a power wagon? It's a 6x6. Huh. Maybe
wow.
someone can tell us if this is a power wagon or not. I'm not entirely sure. Judging by the front end and the fenders, it kind of looks like it.
Doobity-doo. Aww. Hon, it says Hercules.
Hercules.
Get it off. I want it.
Hercules. This is hilarious. This truck identified as an EV at one point in its life.
I'll pretend I'm a little taller. Oh, I got a little cushion behind me.
Yeah.
The springs.
Probably pretty comfortable, eh?
Yeah.
On their side, I mean.
Yeah, that is a transfer case.
Transfer case.
Yeah, that's what we don't have and what we want in the van.
We want a transfer case.
If only we could just pull that out and use it.
Yep. There's some modern technology over there. Those vehicles with modern fuel injection, electronic fuel injection, and then these old trucks. So we just found this. That right there is the fuel tank, right underneath the seat.
Seems safe.
Super safe. High quality safety standards right there.
What we have ahead of us now is the remaining 25 kilometers or so before the Northwest Territories border. At our rate of travel, that still means another few hours of driving. Luckily, we're going through the pass, which we have been told is quite the place.
Look at the state of this road. Just freaking thing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's going real slow with all of this because there's no avoiding any pothole. Jeez. How many kilometers do we have left?
7.
7 kilometers. Hopefully it's not all potholes. I see the sign.
We made it.
We did it, you guys. It was only, what,
12 hours.
12 hours of driving to get here?
Northwest Territories, round 2.
Yep.
Pew, pew, pew.
Well, I think we found camp for the night. Oh, yeah. Think she'll go? Yeah, she'll go.
You know, looking back on photos and videos of our summer spent up north, I'm realizing that we're doing it. We're out here living a dream that I've had in my head for well over a decade. To be out here in these remote regions of Canada I'm realizing the aspirations of overland travel I had when I bought my first truck at age 19. And now, after this, we'll be heading all the way south to the very furthest point of South America. Looking back on all that has occurred in my life since those early days, it's mind-boggling to see how things have transpired and resulted in what Meg and I are doing today. Nothing in life is guaranteed. 4 years ago, I had all but given up on this dream.
Well, the weather can't seem to make up its mind as to what it wants to do. That's okay. We're not going to fault it for anything. It's a good thing we got delicious, warm comfort food inside.
It's actually sort of a summery dish.
As far as I'm concerned, it's comfort food. Thank you very much. All right, tell us what we got here.
We've got a romaine and purple cabbage slaw with some rice, sweet and salty tofu, and crispy fried wontons.
In a van in middle of nowhere, Northwest Territories. I like it.
Yeah, cool. Sorry.
And there are the northern lights. Just out early. What the heck? Whoa, they're actually like really, really dancing. Hey? Had to come all the way to Northwest Territories to get them finally.
Overnight, while we slept, snow had fallen on the mountaintops and weather had moved in on our location. What little warmth had been provided by the sun the day previous had been sucked out of the air. Suddenly, our place here in the mountains felt less friendly and welcoming. Albeit, despite the cold, the snow-topped mountains gave some welcome contrast to the visual palette of this part of the Northwest Territories.
Well, we had great intentions of staying up here for a full day and hiking up there somewhere. However, it's really cold. It's kind of super cloudy. There's a threat of snow, and we are all dreading the drive back because it took us a whopping 12 hours to get here. So we're gonna turn around and leave the Northwest Territories, head down and find somewhere else to camp, and just over the next 3 days kind of travel slowly back to Ross River because going fast on this road is not possible. So yeah, just how she goes sometimes. Maybe one day we'll come out here with a lot more fuel, a lot more food, a lot more water, and we'll do a little bit more exploring midsummer. That would be nice.
Little of the plans I just mentioned actually happened. Little did we know, we were starting out on a drive day like we haven't had ever.
Well, at the very least, we are in for a treat. The senses today, the visual sense, was goodness gracious me, that is some beauty right there.
With dense cloud, rain, and cold blanketing the entire drive, we just kept on moving. Each time we approached a possible camp spot, we made the choice to move on.
Ross River, 150 kilometers. Shoot me now.
We've driven probably like 100K in 4 hours and 15 minutes.
Alright babe, give me the stats. How long have we been driving?
7.5 hours.
How far have we gone? 150K?
250 minus 70, 180.
And what is also happening is Kyle and Alana are about to run out of fuel. I've got like a 5-liter jerry can on the back that we'll use to top them up, but it probably won't get them out. So likely tomorrow we're going to have to get to Ross River and then back to them and then back out before the ferry closes for the day. So just adds a little bit of spice to this wonderful adventure recipe.
Yeah, this could have been bad if it wasn't for you guys.
Another thing added to the list of
Alex,
overlanding things.
I know, right? You know what? We had one too, and it's just...
on my phone, and jerry can is one of them. I'm like, we should have one of those.
Yes.
Unpreparedness.
Alex to save the day. To save the day.
Well, I don't know.
Just adding to my dadisms. Pretty much. I'm a little embarrassed, guys, okay?
Oh, honestly, none of us knew that we could potentially run out of fuel in 500 kilometers.
This is by far the roughest road we've driven in Betty. I think it's just because you can accelerate and then you have to lock up your brakes.
So it makes me feel good that you guys think that too.
Well,
that it's just
roughest road?
Well, I mean, like Baja is one thing, but you can keep your momentum. There's not potholes. There's
Telco was
just like crazy. Telco is 100% worse than this.
Okay. Yeah.
I was gonna say.
But Telco is like a trail. This is a road.
Telco is like a 4x4 situation. Okay. This is like anybody can kind of come up here, but the road's shit.
Well, we've decided that we're going to keep on pressing on because although the fuel range that extra 10 liters gets them to like 113K, we just figure if they are going to run out of fuel that it would really be best to be as close to Ross River as possible, because we'll have to go into Ross River and come back, and then we all got to make it across the ferry before the ferry closes at 5 o'clock. And as we know now, we drive really, really slow on these roads because they're so horrible. So yeah, we're just gonna press on another 55K tonight to another gravel pit up ahead.
Team, what a day.
We did it! Yay!
Well, we got 15 kilometers left?
Yeah. I've never driven that long in a day before.
I guess I'll conserve.
That was literally a shift.
Yeah, longer. Just short of 10 hours.
The next morning, Kyle and Alana left before us and luckily, just barely, made it to the gas station to fill up. We followed shortly after and with a big sigh of relief, finally reached the Pelly Barge.
And we finally made it. We are finally back at the ferry.
Well, folks, I hate to end off a video with such a negative sentiment, but that road sucked. Honestly, like, what was it, like 400 something kilometers, and we just
Probably 500.
500 kilometers. We blasted through an entire tank and an extra 20 liters of fuel. Our average miles per gallon is maybe like 9 miles per gallon. And the front suspension just feels absolutely destroyed. Our fuel pump sounds like it's sucking up gravel right now. We've got a NOx sensor, check engine light. That was brutal. I would say if you guys plan on doing the Canol Road, give yourself lots of time, bring lots of extra fuel, just do it really, really slow. Because, yeah, I don't think we're going to be doing that again.
No, not worth it.
Not worth it?
No, not an enjoyable experience. Maybe an enjoyable like 12 hours all up over the last 5 days.
Lots of good scenery, but yeah. Anyway, we're gonna go fuel up and get our butts out of here and back to some convenience because I really want a cheeseburger. I don't think I've wanted to be back on pavement more in my entire life. Sweet, sweet, smooth road. This is going to be expensive. Full tank, $2 a liter. It's gonna be about $250.
Liters!
105.
105. We weren't empty.
We hope you enjoyed our tale of misadventure and growth. This little adventure of ours wasn't by any means dangerous or scary, but it was a challenge and certainly stretched our humanity and relationship. Doing challenging, uncomfortable things is, indeed, something that we do to ourselves, but it is intentional and important for us to continue to grow as travelers, overlanders, and humans. We have a lot of miles ahead of us, and who knows what the road will throw at us.
Goodbye, Ross River.
Thank you to each and every one of you who chooses weekly to join us on our adventures for a sliver of time. We sincerely enjoy and appreciate your kind comments, well wishes, and encouragement. If you're new here, welcome. We hope you choose to stay. And lastly, we hope that our stories inspire you to get outside, challenge yourself, and make long-lasting memories. There is a big, beautiful world out there, and you belong in it. Make sure to keep a lookout for our next chapter in our documentary series where we explore the United States of America's final frontier, Alaska. From skyscraping mountaintops, broad rivers, remote and untouched regions of wilderness, to massive glaciers, Alaska holds within its borders the kind of epic every adventurous soul seeks out. Ride along with us as we wander the wilderness of Alaska for 3 full weeks in search of all the adventure we can find. And until next time, keep on roaming. If you'd like to support us by putting gas in our tank and food in our bellies, you can contribute on Patreon. As well, Slow Roamers merchandise is now available on our website, slowroamers.com.